Revolver Resources are one step closer to mining their Dianne Copper Project, and here to tell me more about it is the Managing Director, Pat Williams. Pat, it's a pleasure to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, g'day Shay. It must be good to see me.
It always is good to see you, Pat. You bring joy into my life and joy into investors' lives, because last week you announced the upgraded mineral resource estimate, and these are some pretty impressive numbers that you've put out. Tell me, what does this mean for the Dianne Project?
Look, Shay, you told the viewers back in the middle of the year, July and August, we took a drill to site. We did some infill drilling. From our perspective, we're taking this project forward and mining it. We drilled those holes in order to get the operational detail for scheduling, leach pad on-off time, averaging grade, those sorts of things. So what we've done just last week, or as a culmination to last month or two, is we've wrapped that drilling into a resource upgrade to finally, or give another step of confidence to people that there are no risks in this project. There is just no risks. We now have yes, it's small, okay? So in the open pit that release talks about, we'll get 15,000 tonnes of copper at a very high degree of resource confidence. So it's well understood, it's uniform grade, it's shallow. All of the images and figures there just present this as an elegant little near surface to outcropping deposit that's very well known now. So the resource gives that confident foundation point that it's there, it's uniform, it's really well understood, and it's it's there for us to exploit now.
What you've talked about there, Pat, is such a compelling case for the Dianne Project. Tell me, what are some of the things you need to do now to get one step closer to that final investment decision next year?
Well, look, Shay, in reality, we're rounding up the mix and the construct of our funding. So, as evidence in that release, we've got an open pit. There's on or about 15,000 tonnes of copper to come out of that. That's a 4-year project. Do the maths on the back of the envelope in today's prevailing copper price. That's a pretty lucrative little revenue for this small company and this small operation. So, what we're doing now is working out, who's at the table to help us fund this. It's a very small spend because we've taken the risk out of this project, Shay, because we have a very thoroughly well understood uniform and shallow deposit, because we have a very high recovery through the leach process. We're looking to debt fund the whole thing. So approximately $30 million will get us into production Q3 next year. We'll be knocking out cathode plates and bringing them into the market. So it's an exciting project. It's now time to just bring it together, get that funding closed, get started and get going.
Now, you've been working on this project for years, and as you said, you are this close to getting the cathode out of the ground. For everybody listening, can you just remind them what makes the Dianne Project, why you've pursued it for so long, why you want to bring it online?
Well, because of those very attributes, Shay. It's a simple, small, low-risk operation that will fund Revolver. Do the maths, 15,000 tonnes of copper, what are we, $11,500 US a tonne? That's a wheelbarrow full of money. We'll take some of that out to pay for costs. So Revolver will fund itself in a very material and substantial way in a short duration so that we can fund ourselves. So the shareholders get looked after, we bring in a lot of revenue to the company, our valuation increases, we don't have to do any more raises or significant raises. We can dictate the terms. We can explore our own projects. We've got 2 amazing upside exploration projects, and we can go buy some things. Who doesn't? It's Christmas. Who doesn't like going to buy some things? So, that's why we're doing this, because it really gives us a leg up. And look, back in the 70s, back in the 80s, that's how mining companies got up. Small project, cash flow fund themselves, get some money, get going, go and grow. And that's really what we're about.
Listen, Pat, I know through the many times that we talk throughout the year, you always have investors and retail investors at the forefront of what you're trying to achieve with Revolver Resources. As usual, it's a pleasure to see your face again. Thank you so much for the update.
Thanks, Shay. See you later.